已经开发的或者正在开发中的，所以说讲台交给你了，非常感谢。
尊敬的各位嘉宾，尊敬的伊利、华润啊，尊敬的爱创的客户，我们是北京爱创科技有限公司啊，我们的团队。今天呢，这个给大家分享。
Team, I'd like to share with you about the Internet of Things, food safety traceability solution. This is a different topic. So topic is about has 4 parts.
First of all, the food safety traceability is a necessity. At the government level, the government needs the regulation and oversight. There should be the traceability. And also, they have the supply chain, the whole supply chain traceability. For the government should be held accountable for the well-being of the common people. And for corporations, so we have different working tasks for the government. The food safety problem frequently occurs, which leads to market disorder, which cuts people's trust in the government and affects the credibility of the government departments. For corporate level, food safety problems impact enterprises' marketing and branding images, and finally affect their existing development, and for including internal control and logistics, etc., etc. And also, the government, the corporate should be paying attention to the lean marketing. For consumers, and they want food safety problems seriously harm consumers' health and threaten their life and property safety. So we're talking about the topic. This food safety topic is a world topic and universal topic. So China promulgated and implemented the food safety law of the PRC and the GMP and the GSP regulations. That was 4 or 5 years ago. For EU and for USA, they have over 100 years old. So China is really falling behind in terms of food safety affairs. So in the past couple of years, we really improved a lot. But because of the second mover, we are lagging behind. So, and also because there were a lot of headline food safety issues, which add insult to injury. So for corporations, for the T1, T2 cities, I believe that the majority of the food are okay. For the developed economies, and they have this kind of lessons learned, a trajectory. But China is just the beginning. In the past 2 to 3 years, and the government really attaches the rules, regulations, and laws related to that end. I was exposed to this area in 2006. Before that, I was related to the supply chain and the logistics. Starting from 2006, we worked together with the SFDA and government agencies to conduct the study. And SFDA designated a certain workload to us for the platform, for cloud, etc., etc. And the government organized 30+ corporations to conduct the upgrading of the facilities, automation, traceability, etc., etc. By doing so, certain rules and regulations will be implemented through 80 years of practice anyway. For the drugs, for the pharmaceuticals, the first farmer was the pilot project. Now we have over 4,000 farmer companies. They implemented the regulations. So over 70% in the past 2 to 3 years, we have seen more and more input from the government. So for the traceability system construction, we have a lot of questions. Namely here, the difficulty in planning. At the very beginning, 2 to 3 years ago, most of the projects are failed. So we just overlook the difficulty of application of the projects of the traceability. So with poor planning, So that's the first difficulty in planning. Second difficulty in traceability. For the organization functions, it's difficult to guarantee the traceability. And also there is a kind of blame game among different departments. The third difficulty is clarification and transparency. Number 4 is trust difficulty. We have a lot of the fake and counterfeit product, the commodities. And there isn't a foundation for trust among the intermediaries and also the dealers and the consumers. So there's a fourth difficulty in trust. It's really a painful learning curve for all of us. Then, in China, if nobody wants to come in, then nobody comes in. If it's good, everybody comes in. So we'll have more difficulties. For actually our company, with 8 years of growing pain, we are not joined by many others. So I want to share with you our traceability system. We believe that we have the IoT, Internet of Things, as an IoT-based traceability system. We have our IoT notion. We heard a lot of IoT, Internet of Things. We have the traceability. And for Internet of Things, by definition, establishing a unique ID card for every individual product based on automatic identification technology and coding technology, and by taking barcode, 2D code, RFID label, and also the quick response QR code as the barriers. And we connect it to the whole net, conducting data acquisition, data processing, monitoring, automation control, process management of the full supply chain by relying on software systems. And it includes the data of all links of supply chain into platform systems so as to accurately trace and track the procedures. And for each and every link, we have the identification. After identification, so we have the kind of sensing, the cognition layer, and then we have the internet layer, then we have the control layer with the intelligent control. Number 4 is the data layer with the collection of data and information data mining. So these 4 are the features for Internet of Things system. For the construction of a traceability system, for different links, different phases, they are intertwined and interconnected to each other. The core of the IoT is data. First, the cognition, the layer, we call it for each and every package, however small it is, we have the distinctions, one code for one stuff. And for the whole logistics, it can be identified everywhere. Number 2 is for the, we call it traceability control layer. For the minimal packaging ID, we have the RFID, or we have the OCR and other code with the connection of internet through Wi-Fi and through 3G and 4G connection. We can collect the data. And this collection of the data comes from supplier to the whole one, from farm to fork, for the whole supply chain traceability control. The third is a management control layer. It's very complicated. For actual, we call it the TTS, track and trace system. We leverage the identification system to conduct the only ID card for the products. So the production, warehousing, distribution, sales, logistics, marketing, and consumer, for each and every link, there's a data connection and tracing. So we can achieve the life cycle management with the purchase, with the warehousing, production, quality control, finance, and the sales. So we have different systems and different departments working together. And sometimes we have the incentives, the lucky draw, and lottery, etc., so that we can really help our customers to sell the good products at a fair price for the ingredient purchase, for the money, for the raw material warehousing, for the MES, for the QA, etc., etc. For the first four part, we call it the traceability, the origin traceability management. For the later part, we call it from the production. As I mentioned, however small the package is, the small code is attached to one box. We call it with the commodity code and logistics code. For distribution, for warehouse, for outlet, for the retailing, for the customers. For these 5 links, we call it tracing the supply chain. So we do a good job for both the tracing and the tracking. Some of the customers and the corporations, they do a good job to both. Well, most of them do a good job only for part of this, but not the whole chain. The fourth part is the collection of data. For the collection of data, from production side to logistics to distribution to T1, T2 distributors, etc., and the market supervision and the pricing. So all the data should be connected to our platform so that we can exchange of data. For each and every product X works, you can see all the data will be uploaded to the platform so that we can have the whole supply chain data collection. For the headquarters, we will have the pre-warning, the alert, and the retrieval functions. So that's the data collection layer. For the Internet of Things, there are 4 layers, which are all incorporated here from this slide. We have R&D centers and specialties among different areas. In the following, I will share with you the value we can bring to our customers. We spent 8 years for the traceability, from pharmaceuticals to food, from vet drugs for pharmaceuticals, for wines, alcohol, and for the edible oil, for HABA, for cosmetics, etc. In conclusion, for the traceability, we have 5 parts. The requirement of the society, and we establish the price mechanism. The products are not only the T1, T2s vendors. For the sales people, we should ban the cross-selling. So this one is to prevent the occurrence of cross-selling. So a lot of corporations start from the first one, from the holistic planning. They will do a good job for marketing and for sales. The second is counterfeit, the anti-fake, anti-copycat. And because of the rampage of the copycat products, a lot of companies suffer a lot. So that's why they pay attention to this the counterfeit ones. The third is Internet, O2O marketing, from the Internet, from the mobile phones, online, offline. They can have more communication, and with the redemption of credit, more customers will come in. So they will have the injection online and offline. And we capture the habit and the trajectory of the customers so that the customers can be prepared in advance. Then we have the traceability of the raw material suppliers to raw material processing, and for the storage, warehousing, processing, we have the description of all the details so that there is a foundation for QA and for traceability. The last module is supply chain implementation. For traceability, it's not for tracing and tracking. It's kind of implementation of the whole ones. So we can erect and eliminate the issue of improper and incorrect data. We have 5 categories, 5 modules, and we have certain softwares. The certification is the foundation. We have certifications to our members. With the certification of the members, we issue the certified code. This is very important. This code is randomly given, maybe 16 or 20 digits. With the distribution of the code, we will know the spec of the code, and your production will be based on these code numbers. For certain anesthesia and other special drugs or medicines, and certain special medicines under the SFDA supervision, if 100 code is given to you, you cannot produce the 100 the ones. So there be the quarter production or code-based production. We have the identification, RFID, and other logos. So we pay attention to the quick response QR code, quick response code, and also the sales should be based on the sales should be a foundation for the production, and also the PO should be the basis for the production.
In the code planning, we establish the relevance between code and enterprise, and with human, when with code and the production and the products. It's dynamic. The code data center in a dynamic supply chain to control the full process dynamic change for data digging. And this is the code certification in the manufacture process is MES. In this, right now the iTron is giving a mature proven system. We installed more than 10,000 units, packages already. And this system is established the manufacture process data collection and relevance with the package. Talk about manufacturers is mostly of this model. The network system is like, first is the server, business server, and the data center. Below the group company, there are many sites. Each site has several workshops. Each workshop has a couple of production lines. There is outsourced plants and subsidiaries. Some warehouses, both large and small. There is information control with the group company. This data will be eventually be uploaded by internet to the national regulatory platform, and this data will be aligned with the ERP, including the outsourced plant. Through this business manufacturer business model, and all the information system is set up. So let's look at the integration for the manufacture process. Longitudinally, from the iTron companies, there are 4 levels Internet of Things structure. First is the equipment level, data collection, the sensing, and second is line controller. The third, level 3, is the site application for each site. Laterally, the package relevance is a smaller package. There is a code coverage and of the code application. In the intermediate state, every 10 packets, there are medium package and to apply the code on the. So the input relationship between the 10 packet with the medium box, and then the medium box is put into larger box and on the packet and on the pallet, and so all the code will be related with the as a data center. Talks seems simple, but it's in the high-speed manufacture production lines, and so the technical challenge is huge. We have done many applications with some failure, but in recent years we've been made it successful, and so many projects are running. We see the future prospect, and the prospect is bright. Next, let's look at the data management master data PDM, product data management system, taking about electronic network of the regulatory network of the CFDA. So we are going to trace all the codes and from the electronic China Pharmaceutical Electronic Regulatory Network would at first the data would be provided to the printer, variable code printing to print the package material, and after the printing, it returns to the manufacturer site for loading of the pack, and small, medium, and intermediate and large packs are packaged, and also the pallet. There are several production lines and a couple of sites and warehouses from the workshop taking the code, receiving the code from the center, receiving the code, printing, and then to the workshop, and then apply to the product, to the commodity, to the goods, to the community. The data center would be, the data stream would be returned to the overall center. The data will be allocated, distributed uniformly by the center. Otherwise, it's going to be confusing. With this the warehousing operation without the barcode, the operation is quite difficult, and we cannot achieve first in, first out, and also the shelf management is not automatic. We launched the Wi-Fi and the mobile terminal as with barcode, so we can only it's the reader would accelerate all the process. This is simplified warehouse management system. Data collection center, data summarization center, gathering center. This is with Aichuang. The mass data gathering here for alert, for digging, and for display, and for analysis. And we also provide the data to our customers in the counterfeit checking, query, and certification, and in the government approval, and also we offer a lot of application. Next is in the mobile. The company's patrol inspection and the government audit can be done by the mobile terminal, smartphones. We offer such softwares. The 7th system is the PDS tracing system. Companies have many problems such as counterfeit. Right now, the fake products are quite rampant, and if the goods is lost, and how to deal with it, how can we achieve traceability, how to manage the market order, how about the inventory and the warehousing. And so the enterprise would propose all these questions and challenges to us, and we set up a survey system to provide management tools for the Aichuang TDS tracing system. We divided it into 3 steps. First is raw material traceability. This is a huge block. Block 2 is product traceability, and the third block is marketing tool. At the beginning, the planning enterprise would launch the system and look at the overview and overall situation, beginning from counterfeit, and the input is not so expensive, and it doesn't cost too much money for one production line. However, it's very few companies can explain it very clear and thoroughly. A lot of hardware vendors helping them to do it, but their logic consideration is not so elaborate. So they did some trial, but didn't go very far. But today we are going to do the anti-counterfeit automation, apply the code, and set up the relationship, and prevent the mixing of good and adulteration of the products. And step 2, tier 2, talking about the online marketing from the barcode from WeChat. And the tier 3 is the raw material traceability, to trace back to the source, including the agro-produces and identification, and alcohol, oil, and dairy products, all these applications. Talking about right now, most of the traditional companies is online, offline, and online to provide more online value. There are many publications, and we are discussing, exploring this with many entrepreneurs. iChuang solution from plantation, processing, packaging, the channel, warehousing, and inventory, and channel management. All these UE code are applied, and so the logistic process is about the code application, is the UE code traceability process. All these are landing through this kind of pattern, through a UE code, by two-dimensional code, 2D code. 2D code becomes a channel. Consumers through the 2D code and compare with the online, go to online channel, establish a reverse communication model. So just now we are talking about the two, the special store, real store, and the retailer, and the network marketing, the e-commerce. What's the difference between them? Three foundations missing. First is the basic account system missing. Member account system. Before we develop members, the member comes or not, we don't know, and they consume, and they just buy. It's very simplified. And secondly, the consumption process, digitalization missing in the real store. Compared with the internet, is the internet, they can capture everything in your website, and how much time you stay with a certain web page, and there is no interactive channel between customers online. If the UOU O2O in this 2D code collection, you have the membership, and you can read this code. You can see your rights, entitlement. We can give you a coupon after you read the data, attract him to scan more about the 2D code, and actually gather your information, and we can do some analysis. This is a concept we propose. Next is core competence of the iChuang. We've been working in this sector for 16 years, and we have an innovative team. We have altogether 300 employees. We engineered, we obtained a lot of high concurrent mass data processing technology, high-speed production line, processing technology. The production online code application system could be 10,000 units per minute. About laser reading and optical reading. Theoretical, it could be 2,000 units per minute, and in the practice, it could be 1,000 units per minute. Production line OCR, optical code recognition technology. Through the programming, we can enhance the OCR. We can etch with laser on the beer bottle for the OCR code, the readable read. readable rate could be 70 to 80%. Before it could be increased. The readable rate, access rate could be above 90%, raised up by 20 to 40% than before. And there's internal and external code application relevancy technology, Yili, the dairy giant, also the China resource. We applied provide this technology for such as the internal and external code application. And if the external code is damaged, inside we still have another code. This is workable. And some introduction for the Aichuan shareholding company. Aichuan is a national high-tech company in the National Torch program. We have the Grade 3 certification of the national. We are the software vendor of the World Fortune 500. And in 2012, we obtained the title of the top 50 from the Deloitte. We have the 16 years history. We have 30 patents and 100 software copyright. Software has been sold to worldwide, about dozens of nations. We participate in the international competition. We are advanced international company. Organization structure, head office in Beijing. We have an office in San Francisco, and R&D centers in Guangzhou, and more than 20 R&D centers, R&D offices. Our customers cover dozens of nations in India, Japan, USA, Germany, Italy, Spain, and we served some of the Fortune 500, mostly from pharmaceutical. First is Pfizer, the Novartis, also Lilly, and about more than 20 international companies landed in China are our customers.
We have other companies. We got the project, and for certain MNCs, their overseas sister companies approach us because we have good cooperation with the companies, so they come to us more. We have the national level medicine monitoring platform. I've been involved in the construction of this platform from 2006. So actually is a witness of this trajectory of China's medicine industry evolution. It's really not easy to achieve the goal. So actually we are proud that we are part of those participants, and really hard work to do. So all the medicines in China, 60% has been coded. In other words, majority of the Chinese medicine are equipped with the supervision code for better traceability. We have 10,000 lines. We have good recognition from the customers. In Hainan, we have the different companies participating in, and we have over 2,000 the outlets of these vet drugs and pesticides. And we have been involved in the projects of China. And we have the China's Nestle, the association, because we are relying on Indonesia and Malaysia for the import of the swallow net. In the past, people are talking about, speaking of the swallow ones, this is 100% fake. Now we have certain good products coming from these famous companies. And since Li Keqiang paid visit to ASEAN, then we released the ban here. So with the we can more and more import of these products from ASEAN to China. And we help certain ASEAN manufacturers in Southeast Asia to export the product to China. And for our interest here, you have certain extra information here. In the following, we have the products. We work with the army, the military, and also for RMB printing and minting. We have a lot of government projects. We work together with the Shenhua, the co-manufacturer, and the Gafu China, with the 200 companies. We have certain the barcode, the warehouse for management, the certain Wi-Fi usage. That's Gafu. Then the Nongfu Spring, the bottle water. For each and every bottle, there is a code. We work together from the source of the spring to the distribution, to logistics, to the stations, to the distribution centers, and to the end users' home. We'll have the whole process of traceability. We work together with the Nongfu Spring to guarantee that each and every bottle will have a unique code. For the China Resources beer, for each and every beer, the cover of a China Resources brewer, we can guarantee that. And Yili milk, we've been working with Yili for 5 years. So we have over 100 production lines of Yili. Yili case of success. The focal point is we can guarantee the Tetra Pak will enjoy each and every unique code. And it's related to the whole process. This is an edible oil. And this is the beginning. And for extra, we have customers worldwide. We have a lot of success stories. Here is a snapshot of the logos. Last but not least, for your opportunity, we would like to shake a hand with you. Thank you all.